สวัสดีค่ะ
Well, YouTubers, I know it's been a while since we've made a video. I think it's been 3 weeks, and a lot's been happening. Seems like the pandemic ends and Ganja begins. I'm JC. This is Nat. Together we've helped hundreds of foreigners get more life for less money by having a retirement in Thailand. Now we've set out on a new adventure with the help of Danoi, Kakao, and Gopher. Together, join us on our journey while we turn this into save
many months later.
This and make a full forest and help make Thailand green again. So, a lot has happened since we talked to the YouTube viewers last time. So we have a lot to get going on. And a lot of stuff in the news I'm going to talk about because, you know, retirees that are coming over, it's not just about farming. You know, some might live in the country and stuff like that, and they might live in the city. And we talk a lot about, even though we do talk about being self-sustaining here on our little farm, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. We also talk about, especially in our membership site and stuff, about everything in the news every week. So I want to get everybody up to speed as we know it today, because things change, right? No, Thailand, everything stays the same. We never know what to expect. TIT, this is Thailand. But I want to talk about some of the stuff that's been in the news that's really important for retirees that want to come over. Some people wanted to get the jab. Some people didn't want to get the jab. Well, it seems like the pandemic might be over, okay? Might be becoming endemic. And so things that were in the news I want to talk about. Right now, as it stands now, and this has to be published in the Royal Gazette, and it's subject to change. And if it changes, I'll be updating as we go along. But as it is now, and as soon as it's published in the Royal Gazette, it becomes official. Vaccinated people can just come over. It's almost the way it was before this whole pandemic. You apply for a visa, don't need a Thailand Pass. All you do is get your visa, come over. If you show vaccination, they will have a health declaration form that you'll need to sign. But once you do that, if you say you're vaccinated and you come over randomly, you'll be checked for those papers to show that you really are vaccinated. Unvaccinated, if you come over, you'll be randomly checked with an ATK test upon arrival. So it's almost the way it was pre-pandemic. And so I just wanted to mention that. That's really good. Now people have started to flood over. And the airport is getting overwhelmed, so they're trying to add staff in Suvarnabhumi Airport. So things have opened up a lot. And so if you've been thinking about coming over, plus we got a better exchange rate for the US dollar now. And so all these issues or all these things combining together make it a good time to head over. Even if it's a reconnaissance mission, maybe they're not going to move over permanently, but now's a good time to come check it out if you were thinking about retiring here, because I think in the future this could be even a better option than it was prior, pre-pandemic, because of things happening in the world. So that happened. They're thinking about scrapping this arrival departure card. When you arrive in Thailand, you got to fill out this arrival card, and immigration keeps that half, takes the other half, and staples it into your passport. They're talking about scrapping that because they're trying to save time. The queues in the airport are just incredible. And so they're trying to save time. I don't think they'll scrap that, because when you do your 90-day reporting, if you have a long-term visa, you reference that arrival departure card number. And it's used in a lot of different things, so I don't know if they'll scrap that, but it's on the table. The Thailand Pass should be scrapped. And so you don't need this special pass and all these things and quarantines. All that should be coming to an end. One thing that they haven't said is going to happen, but should happen, is the cancellation of this COVID insurance that you need. This would make a lot of people happy, right? If you didn't need to get this COVID insurance, because you need it just to come over. for the duration or length of the visa you have. But people with OA or OX, when they got in their home country, they got to show that they have this insurance for a whole year, as opposed to a tourist who just needed to show it for 60 days. And so if they cancel this whole insurance thing, this would be a game changer as well. So that's really good. One thing we're not sure of, because it's actually provincial, the provincial governors declared it mandatory, and that's this whole thing with the mask. You know? Yeah. People still wear it out here on motorcycles driving in the country. Your daughter, she was going to school today, she had their mask on. Yeah. I said, Nanai, there's not COVID in the air. This is a respiratory virus. It's aerosolized, but you're outdoors. You know, I don't think there's one reported case of actually somebody getting it outdoors. Originally, they said put on the mask because outdoors you needed it because of some lady, and supposedly she wasn't sick, and she gave it to somebody outdoors, and then later on they found out she was actually sick. They went and looked at her medical record and said, wait, you already were sick. So really, there's no cases of somebody getting it outdoors. So anyway, it'd be great if they canceled that mask mandate. Hey, I got some late breaking news for you that I wanted to add to this YouTube video and not wait till the next one, and you'll see why. It came out just now that the mask mandate that we talked about in this video has been rescinded. This is official. So it's no longer mandatory to wear a mask, but they say it's still recommended in closed areas or where there's a lot of people. One thing to keep in mind though, businesses, say 7-Eleven or any kind of department store or anything, can still require the mask, but as far as officially, legally, it's no longer necessary to wear them. And so I just wanted to add this to our YouTube video to get you up to speed. Really important information, something I'm really happy about, because I could give you a lot of videos from real experts saying how useless these masks have been. But anyway, just wanted to pass that on to you. See ya. Stay well, stay safe, and breathe free. Nat and I are convinced, though, that if they cancel it, Thai people, will they get rid of the mask? Thai people?
Maybe.
Maybe. Why maybe?
People still scared.
They're scared and addicted to the mask. I think they feel comfortable now.
Because nobody can see them fed.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Before this whole pandemic thing, you couldn't go into a bank or 7-Eleven with a helmet or anything that blocked your face, and now you have to have it blocked to go into these places.
You cannot have the helmet, cannot have the glass, cannot have the
sunglasses, hat.
But you have the mask, okay.
Mask, okay, that's right. And again, all this will be finalized and engraved in stone once it's published in the Royal Gazette. And the other thing that was in the news, besides that, which was a big thing, was June 9th, it became...
unlock the ganja.
Unlock the ganja.
Yeah.
That's right, it became legal. It decriminalized it. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? We're not 100% sure.
Maybe 50-50.
50-50.
One side good, one side bad.
Right. But we are sure that people were
happy.
Happy, yeah, and prepared. Yeah, these businesses that people had, and they're selling plants that are already big and seeds on. This was already happening before it became decriminalized.
But not public.
That's right, not public. That's right. They were prepared for this. And so now, will this become now a tourist area? Thailand will become tourism related to being able to hang out and smoke ganja? And I'll tell you why. But anyway, it is a big game changer. People who have personally want to use it. I forget how many plants you can grow. Do you remember how many plants you could grow? Yeah, you can grow it personally.
9 or 6?
Yeah, 6 or 9, something like that. And that's okay. But if you want to grow it more than that, you got to register it on an app and say you're growing it and how much you're growing and where you're growing it and stuff like that. And we'll talk about that in a second. But as soon as they did that, it became such a big issue. And it looks like the media and stuff is pushing back on this whole thing. That could be political, but it was such a big thing that they started to backpedal on some of this stuff, and they said, "Oh no, Everybody can't just smoke it, and it's not. We didn't want this for recreational use. This is for health and for people to make money. Now, anybody can sell it to anybody. It became this thing of people selling ganja all over on the Facebook. They're selling seeds and ganja. It got out of control really fast. So they backpedaled and said, okay, first of all, we're going to make the flowers or the buds a controlled herb. And so what does that mean? It means nobody under 20 can purchase it. So that was a big deal. And they don't want pregnant women or nursing women to partake in this, which, this was a head shaker. It's an herb. It's been around for a long time. I've never seen studies that showed that it, is a negative influence. Maybe there are. But they said, no, pregnant women and nursing women, we don't want them to be able to do this. But an experimental gene therapy jab, you definitely have to get that.
The young kid too, 5 years,
Yeah,
3 years.
and the kids, forget under 20, you can't have ganja. But if you're, how much? I think it got down to 6 months or something. It was like infants. Put the jab and you got to do that. Okay. Head shaker. Anyway, but you can't smoke it in public.
No.
This is another thing that came over in that.
Maybe somebody don't like smoking.
Yeah, you're not allowed to smoke cigarettes around other people. No, you're not supposed to. So, will this become a Mecca or an Amsterdam of Southeast Asia as far as being able to sit on the beach in Phuket and with your bong, No, they don't want you to do that, and so you're not supposed to smoke it in public and around people. How much is the fine if you're caught in public? I think it's 2,000 baht or something like that. And if you're caught growing it commercially or using it commercially in a restaurant or something like that, you have to pay for a license now.
Yeah.
How much is a license?
50,000.
50,000 baht. And so I told Nat when this all rolled out, I said, eventually I think this is going to turn into a taxation thing. I think that's why they did it, for the government to make more money. And so they're already starting with this thing of registering to...
For your business and everything, about
100,000 baht if you want to register and do this officially, legally. So we'll see how all that plays out. Again, this is all developing stuff.
Maybe they change already.
It could be. And I talk about this every week in our member site in our weekly update and keep everybody abreast of all this week by week. And they put up, what was the name of the website where you register to grow it?
Pukan.
Yeah, Pukan. And just so you know, you're thinking, well, maybe a couple farmers or something. Okay, they are currently accepting application. This was like a week ago. 840,000 people registered, and they issued certificates to 815,000 people, and 38 million people visited the website. So it's a big deal, big business. But of course, it's only for health, right?
Yeah.
Not for money. Speaking of health, Nat and I ended up in Buriram Hospital to do something, help somebody out, and we were able to get a durian ice cream, right?
Yeah.
Oh, tasty, right?
Really good.
Oh, if you like durian, that was a treat. And how much was it for a cup?
30 baht with the durian meat.
Yeah, it was like $1 US, and it had the durian in it. Oh, it was great. But anyway, the point of that was they actually have a health checkup, special office thing for health checkups. And
you eat durian and go check out.
Yeah, eat the durian. And spike your insulin level and your fat content, and then go get that checkup. And yeah, but it was great. They have the whole menu of things you can do, and I'll be talking to the members on the member side and probably maybe YouTube as well. If you have an opportunity here in Thailand, getting these health checkups, especially at Bangkok Pattaya Hospital, they have these deals. But this one was really cheap. Do you remember how much?
For the packet, 1,000 more.
Yeah, like $30. I mean, but they have blood tests, urine tests.
And they have extra.
Yeah, you can do chest X-ray, everything. And so I'll be talking more about that. But it's a great opportunity. And after all the stress of this COVID thing and wearing masks, you know, in impeding your breathing and breathing in all the germs from the dirty masks and all that. It's a good idea to get a health checkup and also insurance. I would say even if you got the vaccine, but I think more, especially if you got the vaccine, get health insurance. I always put the link in our description for our YouTube video, and contact Jamie about and make sure that you're covered for good coverage for your medical. And so another thing happening in Thailand is inflation, which is happening all over the world. In America, I think it's up to 30% or something. Some things are up 30%. You know, fuel and everything. And so here in Thailand, a lot of things increasing. We saw most food carts and stuff, it's increasing by about 5 baht or about 15 cents. Not very much, but it's increasing. But we saw in Buriram in the shopping mall in the food court something that went from how much?
For the 40 baht from the 60 baht.
Yeah, it went from 40 baht to 60 baht. That's a big jump. And they're saying it's because it's Russia-Ukraine, which I can understand that with fertilizers, which then affect, you know, cost of growing food here and stuff like that. So that's gone up. Fuel's gone up. But other things, I think a lot of that is just because of the continual printing of money, you know, just printing money out of control by the billions of baht. And so that is going to affect the prices here, and that's happening. But I don't just want to focus on Thailand as being, you know, more expensive here. It's more expensive everywhere because of that. A cool thing happened. We were going to shoot our weekly update for our member site 2 weeks ago, I think. And we were looking for a place, and I saw on the map a Wat, and we went in. What happened when we got to the Wat?
Have a good monk there.
Cool, yeah, friendly, cool monk. He hung out with us, and he goes to Los Angeles and hangs out there at the Wat and teaches Buddhism there in Bangkok, and he has a Wat here, and really nice guy. He wants to practice his English, but he spent a lot of time with us hanging out.
He's still learning.
Yeah.
For next step.
He is?
Yeah.
Wow.
Learn online. So.
He's learning Buddhism online?
Yeah.
Cool guy, man. And how did he say how long he'd been a monk?
Oh, how many years? Go a long time. I don't remember. But he now is 68.
68 years old. And that Wat that we went to, how many rai?
200.
200 rai. Big place. He planted like 2,000 teak trees and stuff. Cool guy. And so he also invited us next month.
Yeah, number 8. To his birthday.
For his birthday party. Yeah, very cool. I mean, these are the kind of intangibles that happen here that make me appreciative of living here even after 25 years. We talked the last time in the YouTube video about doing the Black Rock and the truck getting stuck.
Yes.
And then we came back and also on the other area, which we had sparsely put some black rock a year ago. We needed to resurface that, and we got, what truck came in?
Red Rock.
We got Red Rock. It's an aggregate of clay and rock and stuff. We had the tractor put that down. How much did that cost us?
2,500 baht.
For the rock?
Yeah.
And how much for the tractor?
Tractor?
200
baht.
200 baht, yeah. And so, yeah, so now we got a driveway all the way going out the gate, which I need to actually make a good gate. Right now we have just a pretty bad gate. Also, this is the time of year that they're planting rice, starting to plant rice. Her mom planted some rice. People are planting. It seems like once one person decides to do it, everybody gets in the queue because you got to have the tractors come, right? Until turn under the soil and then put the seeds down, smooth it out and everything. So it's a process. So as soon as one person starts doing it, people don't want to get left out of the queue, right? And so all of a sudden it starts happening in full swing. And so that's happening. And every once in a while, you know, it used to be, we're probably used to seeing them planting the rice with the little rice things, standing in water and planting the rice seedlings and stuff. But they don't do that much anymore because of, why?
Too much step, too much to do.
Yeah, it's labor intensive. Time consuming and stuff, so now they just go and throw the rice and do it. But it's happening in full swing, but we do see every once in a while them still planting that way. And you say it's actually a better way to grow it, right?
Yeah, let's say they make more rice and not too much grass around.
Cool. We mentioned that our batteries, we were waiting for the batteries to be accepted. The ones we sent back our bar of soap, they came instead of batteries. And we did get a refund on that. And then we ordered some more batteries, and they showed up, two more 200 amp hour batteries. We installed those, and one of the reasons we installed them was to be able to run the air conditioning cooler all night without it, running out of power at 4 a.m. That's and we upgraded our refrigerator. Our other refrigerator was real short. I didn't even get in and out of it. I just asked Nat, well, go see if something's in there, because I'd have to get on my knees and go through it, and it was packed full.
Yeah.
It was packed full. And so we upgraded the refrigerator, so we got a lot more space and only added, I think, another 10 watts of power. It's an inverter, LG, and so that's really cool. So we're really happy about that. We got that going. And another thing that happened, well, last time we left them, we had my greenhouse blow down a couple times. I made the greenhouse, the hoops, out of PVC pipe and put up the plastic. So last time we left them, I was really proud. I got it back up. Check this out. So, just got through posting our last YouTube video and also editing our member weekly update, which we do a video about things on the property that's happened, things in the news. We go over all that every week. And one of the things I mentioned in both places, just got through doing this, was about our greenhouse that we're going to do the hydroponics in. That I went with the hoop, low profile, so it'd be less windage, cement poles in the ground, everything was good, right? And just woke up this morning and we had some rain last night. Didn't sound, I don't remember it being heavy, just remember it raining for a long time. But anyway, came out this morning and check out what I found. My greenhouse collapsed again. Check this out. The pole's just bent. And let's see what it looks like in the middle here, because that looks like where, yeah, this is where it failed, right in here, in the middle. Luckily, I see that our hydroponic system seems to have made it unscathed. Last time this happened, that broke as well, piece, and we had to reorder that. But this is what my shade house is looking like. That's not a good thing. So, just over the last week, I wanted to do some things, assemble some stuff, and I didn't want to use wood. So I thought metal's the way to go these days. And I bought a little welder, a little MIG welder. And this feeds the flux through the tube and everything. Now, I've never done any welding, so I have to practice on that, but I think that's the way we're going next time with the greenhouse. I think I gotta build it out of metal because this has failed too many times. Now, I've seen it on YouTube, people do this, and I've actually seen them up in other places and they seem to do well, but here, that isn't gonna work. So I'm gonna have to try and weld some kind of metal bracing on here onto those cement poles and go up and build it that way. But anyway, I thought I'd update you on the greenhouse overnight. Not looking good. Some days you get the bear, some days the bear gets you. So there you go. It collapsed again. Right after I made the video. Yeah. You know, I almost was going to reshoot it, but we already were into the editing for the weekly update on YouTube, and so I didn't do it, but it collapsed that night. And it was just rain. It wasn't big winds or anything. So,
and now you upgrade again.
Yeah, what I want to say about this was we went and I needed, because the batteries came, I needed some extra cables to connect 4 batteries up. In series and parallel to get the system configured right. And we went to our MacGyver, our solar guy, And I was in there talking to him, and he's got the metal pipe, and he's making all sorts of. He made a dehydrator and out of solar and stuff. So he welded up our stands for our solar. And I asked him about, how long ago did you learn to weld? Because you're a good welder. He says, well, this is my dad's shop. It's been here 50 years. His dad had a metal shop, doing welding and stuff. And so his dad taught him when he was young. So that's why he's so good. And I said, wow, really? I said, is it hard? Because I bought a welder, a little MIG welder that feeds the flux and everything. I haven't even opened the box yet, but I'm going to do it with the helmet, and I'm ready to go, right? Yeah. So I'm going to do this because I want to make the gate and a couple other things, right? But anyway, I said, our greenhouse now is blown down a couple of times, 3 times, I think now. And I wanted to make the hoops out of metal. And he says, see that machine right there? I can bend the metal for you. So we went and bought three hoops, right?
Yeah.
And the hoops were 220 baht, I think, a piece.
Yeah.
And he was a couple blocks from MacGyver, to where he's going to bend them for us. And so it was another 40 baht to have them truck them down to him. And then he bent them and delivered them for
delivery and for the bin, 500 baht.
500 baht. So it's 300 to bend it, which is about less than $10 with the exchange rate now, to bend the 3 into the angle that I wanted them, and then an extra 200 to bring them all the way out here, which is pretty far. And so we've got them back up. I put them on rebar, stuck rebar into the ground, put those over, and then I'm going to attach the pipes to the cement poles, and hopefully they'll stay up this time. And we'll start growing. And we have a solar setup for doing the pump for our hydroponics and stuff. It's all ready to go, so Nat just needs to get some seedlings going, some little microgreens that we can start, and I'll be talking to you about that in the future. So we're excited to get some food going. Speaking of food, we got a lot of stuff growing now. We've got guava, which is what in Thai?
Farang.
No, farang.
Farang food.
Oh, farang food. Tomatoes, Thai tomato.
มะเขือเทศ
มะเขือเทศ Dragon fruit.
แก้วมังกร
แก้วมังกร. Now, every time on the dragon fruit, every time there's a flower, does it make a fruit right there or no?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So anyway, we got that. Lamut.
Yeah, ละมุด
I don't know the name of this little thing in English, but they make great shakes out of lamut. And if you haven't tried one, it's like eating brown sugar. It's very cool. Custard apple.
น้อยนา
Noi na, which are custard apples. We got a few of those growing. Banana.
กล้วย
Goi.
หอม
And limes.
มะนาว
All that's growing, which is pretty cool now. Not a lot on any of these trees. I got the
I don't know why they go to the little tree
yeah. What did we see the other day? Oh, mango. We saw the lady who grows the kratom plants and ganja and all this stuff she grows. She's got little mango trees with mangoes on them. And so, all that's growing. And so, but it'll be great to get the greenhouse going so I can eat greens, And that's above ground garden, raised garden. That didn't do so good. And
something grow.
you might have 2 broccoli growing.
Yeah.
So all that's cool, right? And so another thing we had done, because it's starting rainy season, sometimes it's a deluge of rain. And I showed in a YouTube video, I think in the member site videos as well, that our Kwan that has the fish, the pond with our tilapia, when it rains it overflows, and it flowed back out in and killed one of your trees, and then we have standing water out in the property for a long time. So I said, Nat, why don't we put a water retainment, like another little pond kind of thing? Well, check this out and show you what we did. All right, so we got a little project we're going to start, and it was supposed to start yesterday, but it was Gopher's birthday.
มันเอาเป้าลูกเป้าสิเดี๋ยวมันดับเบิดเป้าให้เบิดเป้าให้เบิดแห้งแห้งแห้งแห้งแห้งแห้งเอาแรงแรงแรงไป1 2 3 Yay!
So we said, no, okay, can you wait a day? Sure, no problem, right? And they were supposed to come at noon. Actually, yesterday they said they were going to drop off some machinery to do this job, and then they would come today at noon. They didn't drop off the machinery, and they didn't come at noon. It's already 2 o'clock, so we'll see. TIT, this is Thailand, right? Okay, so let me tell you what we're doing. We're going to create another water catchment. And if you're wondering what that is or why I say another, is because we have a water catchment here, a pond that's stocked with tilapia. But what happens, let me show you something. We have an issue during rainy season. I got one thing to do before I explain everything to you. We supply Nat's parents next door with water from our solar system. So I need to open this back up for them so they get water when we turn it on instead of it going into the pond. So this is the pond stocked with tilapia. Again, we did this a year ago, and when it rains, it fills up, right? Because a lot of the runoff ends up down here. The problem with that is once it gets full, guess where it goes? It comes out here, down here, and floods this area right here. And then you're not able to walk in here. It killed a couple of Nat's trees that she planted in here because they were sitting in water for, I think, if it's a heavy rain, like a week. Or maybe even more than that. Anyway, so yeah, this one here didn't survive because it couldn't be in standing water. The other two seemed to survive okay, but I told Nat, why don't we create a water catchment and channel this water into some place where we can hold it and utilize it, right? So there's the pond down there. We're gonna get a backhoe to come in, starting about right here, and dig about a 2-meter ditch. I call it a ditch, is really what it is. And it's gonna start about here and go down, I'd say about 60 feet, something like that down here. So it's going to go all the way down between her plantings. Now, we were worried about some of these plantings getting injured during this process. And the guy said, no problem. Why don't we just, I'll use my backhoe, and this is the machinery that I was talking about. There's a little backhoe coming. And he said, why don't we just dig this up, and then when I dig out the ditch, I'll pile up the dirt on this side, and then we can just replant in the pile of soil on that side. Hey Nat, I think somebody's coming. So guess what? Like I said, it is 2 o'clock, and look who's showing up. Sawadee Cup. Somebody mine? Alright. This is the backhoe driver. This kid's how old did he say he was? 18? I think he was 18 years old. And his parents have this company, and he's got a little backhoe. And so it's going to be about 2 meters deep and 2 meters wide and about 60 feet long. How much would that cost in your home country? How old did that guy say he was? Huh? 18. Yeah, 18. But he's got his own little business. So he's got this little backhoe, which I'd like to have. You want to show him where to park, Nat? Or you just wanted to park in the driveway?
Yeah, park in the driveway.
Yeah. And so how much would that cost you to get a backhoe and the driver and to work? Probably it's going to take probably about 5 hours, 4 hours to do this, 5 hours. He's going to charge us 6,000 baht. And at today's exchange rate, which is I think 32 or to 32.5 baht to the dollar, US dollar, it's going to cost less than $200 to do this. So I don't know what it would cost in your home country to get this done, but this is a good time to mention this. You know, Nat said, maybe that's a little expensive. And I said, well, fuel now, diesel fuel is really expensive. I think, how much are we paying for diesel fuel now? I showed you on the thing the other day.
35 points.
Yeah, over 35 baht for 1 liter. So anyway, I told her, you know, like diesel's getting expensive. So anyway, the point of this was, is that expensive or not? Anytime you're negotiating or getting something, you could be buying products, services, whatever. You can probably it's just like buying stocks, right? You can probably get it cheaper if you waited or you did something, you know. Oh, this is pretty cool. Watch this. He's going to lower himself down. Look at that, Nat. Pretty cool, huh? Gang mate? Wow. That's pretty cool. Look at that. Wow. Pretty cool, huh? Doesn't even need a ramp. That'd be cool to watch him get back up in that thing. I thought this was a Yanmar, but it looks like it's a Kubata. But yeah, a little cool little back rub. I'd like to have one of these. Anyway, what I was saying was, what you need to do is ask yourself, what would you feel comfortable with, or what would you think is a good price that you would feel comfortable with, where you didn't feel like you were getting ripped off or you were ripping off somebody else, and negotiate for that price. You know, people might say, oh, you got it cheaper, or you could have got it cheaper, or you paid too much, or, you know. But as long as you're happy with the deal, then it really doesn't matter if you could have got it cheaper or not. So I just wanted to mention that when you're negotiating. I saw when I lived up in Chiang Mai for 9 years, they had the night market. People asked about bargaining at the night market. And I said, well, just figure out what you feel comfortable with paying for a specific item in the market, and then try and get it for that price. Because they're going to start out high, and then you just try and negotiate to where you feel comfortable. If you can't negotiate to the point where you feel like you're getting a good deal, then don't take it. It doesn't matter if you could have got it cheaper or not, and, you know, move on. And sometimes, like when you're dealing with, you know, markets where there's foreigners and stuff, if you start to move away and say, no, you know, this is how much I'll pay, you could start walking away and they go, okay. This guy actually wanted $6,500. I thought, yeah, I think $200, about 6,000 baht, would be, you know, a good price. And he said, okay. And so that was the deal we negotiated. But anyway, we're putting it on another water catchment. And this should hold not only the runoff from the pond that comes out during heavy rains, but also this is the high side over here, and we got water that comes down the road and comes down the side of the property in like a ditch and moves into this area as well. And right now it feeds over into Nat's parents' property over there. They have a little, I wouldn't say a pond, it's just a retainment area. And so we might channel that into this as well, so we got all this water holding in case we need it for watering the plants during a drought or anything like that. Plus, we'll plant around it because it'll hold water. And so that's the deal. Anyway, we'll show you the finished product when he's done, but that's what we're doing today. A little, another little project on the property. I want one of these little guys. This would be cool. Well, Nat, day one. First day.
Good day.
They left about 5 o'clock, so that was 3 hours worth of work. And
Little Kwan.
We have a ditch. We call it ditch. Oh, we lost Gopher in the ditch down there.
He go dig the quan. He have a little backhoe.
Oh, he's got a little backhoe. He's gonna keep digging. But this is what they got done in one day in 3 hours. So they probably have another couple hours worth of work. And they loaded up this side with the dirt and dug up the trees that were on this thing and replanted them for us. So they replanted all those trees that they were going to bury. They dug up and put on the top. They did knock down our fence over there, which had my electric chicken wire on there. Yeah. And so that was one casualty. And but other than that, they're doing okay, right?
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, we'll see how we're going to connect it up to the Quan, so that when it rains heavily, that it's going to overflow into this. And we'll also try and redirect some of the water that comes down off the road over here and get that in here as well. So there you go. Day one's finished, and I'd say they're 75% of the job done. So far, so good. Well, Nat, they came back today about 10 o'clock. It's about 1 o'clock. They'll probably be finished about 1:30. What do you think, Nat?
Good.
Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. He put the S curve in this guy and closed up the hole to the pond, which we needed to do. So now the water's contained there. We buried a pipe, so if it overflows, it goes, now the pipe goes into our little holding, our water catchment. And so we're good to go, right?
Yeah.
You think you did a good job?
Good job.
Yeah, the guy's like 18 years old, man. He's really skillful at this. He's got finesse how, he can maneuver the bucket. Really cool. Yeah. And so we wanted to put a natural swimming pond in the garden, so we might talk to him about that, because he's pretty good at this. And so, but our water catchment is now almost complete, and that's right, and all that for about $200. Pretty good. Great deal. Always still a good deal in Thailand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. There you go. See ya. So that's cool, right?
Yeah.
And guess what? He finished, and the next day,
rain coming.
That's right. We had a lot of rain, and it's half filled already. So that happened. Another exciting thing that happened since we talked to them last, and I think we'll finish up with this, is Nat was out with little Gopher. Oh, we had Gopher's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Gopher's birthday. He's now how old?
4 years old.
4 years old. Cool little guy. But anyway, she was out planting with Gopher, and Dick the dog started barking and stuff. And what did he find?
He saw a snake.
Snake. What kind of snake?
Cobra.
Cobra was coming across our property, and it was like almost 2 meters. And so Dick was chasing it. Your son was chasing it. Your son finally caught it with a hoe and whacked it. And Dick, he has a lot of fun with those snakes. He doesn't have any front teeth anymore.
No.
The dog, I don't know what happened to his teeth, but maybe too many cobra bites or something. I don't know. But anyway, that was real exciting, and Funny, when they were digging the ditch, I saw a little snake fell in there, and the other guy, one of the brothers, I think it was his brother, he looks a lot alike.
I think he's friend.
A friend, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, he went and got a little bottle, an empty Coke bottle, and put this little snake in the thing and took it out and let it go. Good karma, right? So that's it for our YouTube video. We'll be coming back at you in a couple of weeks with some more information, but I wanted to get you up to speed with what's been happening for 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So you all take care, stay well, stay strong, and think about becoming part of our member site, because when we launch our community site, everybody that's already a member of our member site gets comped in for free, lifetime. So I'll put a link for our member site we have now, and if you take advantage of that deal, then get a good deal on our community site, and you get everything. And so that's going to be coming soon, being launched, and we'll be updating you as soon as that happens. But again, stay well, stay strong, and no matter what happens in the world, there's
Always option.
always an option. See you, JC, and that out.
Bye.
Hey, JC here. If you like that video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel here. Also, we have another video up here you're going to be really interested in watching as well. And if you're looking for all the details of how to retire in Thailand in one place, plus a group of people to support you, check this out over here. Give it a click.